Hi guys, welcome to Viva Barca. Welcome back to another interesting episode where we are going to be discussing on the latest news on FC Barcelona as we usually do. In this episode, we are going to be discussing on three stories. We are going to start with Ansu Fati, who have returned to Barcelona training. Of course, that was yesterday. Received a standing ovation from the staff and the teammates. We are glad to have him back. We are going to be discussing much on that as we move ahead. Secondly, we are going to be talking about Adama Traore, as it has been reported that Tottenham Hotspur are keeping tabs on the winger. Of course, he has complicated issues right now. Barcelona are still contemplating if they will extend his stay at the Nou Camp or they will send him back to Wolverhampton Wanderers. But right now, Tottenham are still keeping tabs on the winger. We are going to be discussing much on that as well. Then lastly, we are going to be talking about Pedri, as it has been reported that Barcelona boss Xavi Hernandez have given a golden advice to the Barca midfield gem regarding his play style. We are going to be discussing on that report as we move ahead. So guys, as we get right into those stories in much detail, please endeavor to subscribe to the channel. If you are a lover of FC Barcelona, if you haven't subscribed, do well to subscribe so you always stay in touch with the latest on FC Barcelona. Give the video a like and also make sure to watch the video right up to the very end. Barcelona received a huge boost on Monday as Ansu Fati made his long-awaited return to the first team training after injury. The teenager has been in Madrid recovering from the hamstring injury he suffered in January, but is now back home and closing in on a return to action. Fati reportedly undertook a serious medical checks at the club earlier yesterday, Monday, before being given the green light to get back to work on the training ground. The striker then received a warm welcome from his teammate at the Ciutat Esportiva. There's already plenty of speculation about when Ansu Fati could get back on the pitch, but it seems pretty certain Barca won't take any risk at all with the young star. Report from Spanish outlet COPE are reporting that Fati could be back in 2 weeks' time, providing everything goes well and there are no setbacks during training. In any case, it's a great thing to see Ansu Fati back to work. Let's hope he can finally stay injury-free and get back to doing what he does best. Of course, we miss that clinicality from Ansu Fati, and his return is a huge boost for our team. So it's just common sense for Barcelona to be bringing Ansu Fati gradually, not rushing things. Of course, considering the fact that we have players at that forward department who are scoring, who are playing very well now. And the good news is Xavi won't really Xavi won't really think so much about Ansu Fati's return, but of course making sure that he's 100% fine, 100% fit before he can be brought back to the pitch to play. So the good news is he's back, he's doing well, and we just hope for no relapse, for no setbacks again, because he's present in that squad. Even give more boost because Ansu Fati is a world-class player. Then on to the next story of discussion. Adama Traore's Barcelona future hinges on the solitary fact that whether or not Wolf will negotiate on a lower figure than the previously established €30 million price. If the two teams do fail to reach an agreement, the 26-year-old speedster will move back to the Premier League instead. Now, Barcelona are in no state to spend €30 million for a player whose contract will anyway expire in 2023. The team has promised the Spain international that they will in fact continue with him in the long term, but everything depends on how the teams involved will approach the transfer. There is absolutely no denying the fact that both Francisco Trincao and Riqui Puig are expected to be part of this deal. If the English Premier League side keeps on persisting on the mentioned transfer fee, the Barca management will have no choice but to pull away from that deal. Make no mistake, Wolf can still find a different suitor altogether who will be happy to pay a transfer fee, with Spanish news outlet Sport claiming the lasting interest from Tottenham Hotspur still lingers. The Antonio Conte-led side were in contention in January before Barcelona made a last-minute swoop 2 months on, and the Lily Whites continue to pick, and as the situation gets disoriented by each passing day, they are hoping for the Spaniards to finally don the royal white of Spurs in the summer. The operation is complicated to say the very least. On top of that, if Barcelona somehow manage to acquire Rafinha in the summer, Traore will have no other option but to move back to the UK. The key at this very moment remains whether or not Trincao and Traore's agent Josh Mendes will manage to strike a deal or not. In all fairness, if the deal is in fact, catered, a red-faced wolf will fail to churn any capital out of that swap. Adama Traore's future is far from being established, as anything can happen in the summer. He can sure end up as a permanent member of the Barcelona roster or can indeed move back to the Premier League. So at this very point in time, there's still a lot of dilemma. Of course, no money will be paid for Adama. Barca have already made that clear that they will not pay up to that 30 million euros, especially as the player's contract at Wolves is set to expire at the end of next season. So the only possibility that Barca can go for is that swap deal, but it all depends on Wolves. Will Wolves be able to accept a swap deal between Trincao, Ricky Puig, and Adama Traore? Because Ricky Puig have also been linked to Wolves. Trincao is still at Wolves on loan. It all depends on Wolves. They have the final say. Trincao himself there is not even certain that he will be there on a permanent basis. He has not been performing very well since he went there. So I think the possibility of a swap is very, very slim at this very point in time. And Wolves cherish more of Barca paying that 35 million, that 30 million euros as stipulated in that clause, by which realistically Barca are not willing to pay that. So it'll be interesting to see how events turn out to be as the summer window approaches. Then on to the final story of discussion. Golden boy Pedri Gonzalez has the world at his feet. At just 19 years of age, the midfielder has Xavi's complete confidence, and the manager himself has made no secret how much he admires the youngster's capabilities. Pedri is playing way ahead of his age. Even the Osasuna coach, Jagoba Aristete, couldn't help but compliment the young star. He said, "He will mark an era," Aristete had said, and he said, "When you look at how well he has done in such a short period in time, the words sure make a lot of sense." At 19, Pedri has his entire career ahead of him, and he just wouldn't find any better mentor than his current coach, Xavi. The manager is churning the best out of him, but the Spanish news outlet Sport says there are a few things he wants the youngster to work on. To begin with, the manager has keenly observed that the midfielder usually molds himself as per the players he's surrounded with. Take for example, if someone likes to keep the ball more often, Pedri will react in a similar manner. On the other hand, if someone prefers quick one-touch football, the midfielder will provide services as required. While there is nothing wrong with that approach, Xavi has advised the 19-year-old to rather be himself. This basically means the manager wants him to save the extra touches even if the others around him do not really play that way. As such, the only intention is to make him even more virtuous in the center of the field. The word of the advised has come from years of experience, as one just cannot forget the infamous tiki-taka generation of Spanish footballers. While the roots of it were planted by Johan Cruyff, it was more or less implemented by players like Xavi, Andres Iniesta, Cesc Fabregas, and Lionel Messi. After all, experience is the teacher of all things. So coolers, with that we have come to an end of this episode. Thanks a lot for watching. Hope you did enjoy the video, and also hope you did subscribe. If you haven't, please endeavor to do so you always stay in touch with the latest on FC Barcelona here on Viva Barca. Until next time, bye bye.